no, even in private, look, the way that Nancy Pelosi is talking about this, she's in kind of a strange position because she's under no illusions that she's popular.
I mean, what's going on with that? Let's talk about the leadership.
She starts the aftermath. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I've seen some polling that she has just absurdly low favorability ratings outside of where she is. Now, maybe it's not her fault because, again, she's been like one of those like 20-year Republican projects to, San Francisco values. Mm-hmm. She's losing support on the left, it seems to me, as well, within the Democratic Party. So that may account for some of it, too. But what is she thinking? Is she thinking that she's going to run for re-election in 2 years, that she wants to be leader of the, Speaker of the House when maybe the Democrats take back the Senate? I mean, what's the, why? Why is she doing this? Is she waiting for somebody to come to come up from below and letting them get a little more seasoning? Because it doesn't seem like there's any youth coming into the leadership at all.
No, I mean, in my more cruel moments, I refer to the House Democrat leadership as like the gambler who stays at the table trying to break even.
Right.
Just need to get back to even, then I could go home from the casino. Because you've got a leadership team that's been there literally for a decade. Had lost 4 elections in a row, and gained a couple seats in 2 of them, but was out of power, and they just are not budging. Even today, they're giving signals they're not going to budge. And so it's getting a little bit in the weeds, but Pelosi's public strategy here has been to unwind the negative impressions about her by kind of being herself, going on the Colbert Report, talking about bipartisanship. She does think she
That's
can have
very
a
much
with
herself,
Trump as far as any human can. It is, and it is, but they just made this bet to kind of a classic baby boomer behavior.
Right.
No, we don't trust anyone else to do this for us, so we're just going to lock ourselves in here, and because the next generation wouldn't do as good a job as us. And you've seen some blanching to that, like this class that's coming in. So we need to do, once everything's called, we'll do the math on how many people said they wouldn't vote for her for speaker. Beyond that, you have some young talent that's been trying to move up, and the way she was framing her decision leading into this election was, I'm going to be a transitional speaker. So what does that mean? I don't know. The way that a lot of people interpreted it was, she's going to be speaker through the end of this Trump term, and then does she say no one else is as good as me? I need to keep running this. I mean, she's going to turn 80 in 2020 in the next couple of years. So if she's serious about the transition, you might see some more hints at that. But she's also said she doesn't want to be seen as a lame duck. So I don't know what that means. Like, the more I describe it, the more confused I get about what her plan is.
And to be clear, I'm not as concerned about her age as I am her political tenure, which months ago she was talking about instituting pay-go. Last night, let's play one of these clips. I don't know which one is more ridiculous from her speech last night. I'm sure you heard this. Is this the one where she's talking about the bipartisan marketplace of ideas? I mean, let's just hear this clip.
Stark contrast to the GOP Congress, the Democratic Congress will be led with transparency and openness so that the public can see what's happening and how it affects them, and that they can weigh in with the members of Congress and with the President of the United States. We will have accountability, and we will strive for bipartisanship with fairness on all sides. We will have a responsibility to find our common ground where we can, stand our ground where we can't, but we must try. We have a bipartisan marketplace of ideas that makes our democracy strong. A Democratic Congress will work for solutions.
All right, Dave, just talk me down here. Is that just like pablum, that they feel like, oh, we have to do this because we've always done it since, the 90s? I mean, I'm not even.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks like this. I mean, Barack Obama talked like this. Trump talked like this for like 10 seconds after the 2016 election. Ryan talked like this. Although Ryan, because got into much more how we're going to bring back regular order, which no Republican cares about when they have power, or no, and few Democrats. I think in Pelosi's case, she does believe this. She does believe that when she ran the House, especially in 2007, she was fair. She helped pass TARP. She took some hits when she needed to. She passed Democratic bills. This is just a different theory of politics than Republicans have. She wants there to pass progressive legislation, but not in a way that blows everything up. And I think the way things turned out in 2010, I don't think she ever got over. Where she thought she did pass compromises, keep people safe from tough votes if they needed to, and got wiped out and got demonized. So I think this is what I keep getting back to, where Democrats making this bet that they could keep her on as leader. They never really had this conversation about, well, what if we had a new leader who leads on a clear agenda, starts fresh with the public. They never really did that. They kind of let every candidate run their own campaign. And so the result of that is having Pelosi with this sort of, you said pablum, so I'll just repeat it, this sort of boilerplate about bipartisanship.
But if 2010 stung, what did she learn from it? It doesn't feel like she learned anything.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing with Obama and Biden. When I would hear them on the trail, they would describe like how we need to get back to a certain level of civility. And if you're beyond, if you're on left-wing Twitter, then this is obvious. But if you're any kind of Democrat, you think, well, gee, like Republicans changed the rules and stole a Supreme Court nominee, all the things you can go over the way that Republicans kind of smash the rule book to gain power. You look at that and you think, why do we keep acting nice? But I would say the first press conference, the first statements after an election by the party that wins are not like legally binding.
Right.
I don't think.
I mean, I know
I
that.
think she does what she wants to set this tone, but I'm not sure if that's how she's going to. So the thing to watch here, to move it forward a little bit, is that Republicans are kind of are pre-gaming almost and saying, well, in a very kind of Brer Rabbit way, well, all right, well, these guys won, but it's really going to backfire if they do any investigations of Trump. They can't do that, and that's just no Democrat falls for that. But they definitely need to be making the assertive argument, and frankly, they won the election with that argument. I mean, I was in as many congressional districts as anybody. If voters were worried that a Democratic Congress would probe the president and ask for Mar-a-Lago contract records, all that stuff, they would have not voted for Democrats. It was pretty clear that Democrats were going to investigate the guy. If you want to be cheeky about it, look, the closing ads that Republicans ran were warning that if you elect Democrats, they're going to impeach the president and bring single-payer health care about. Okay, well, having won,
right?
Maybe you don't do all that. But you won with voters being told, hey, elect these guys, they're going to be unfair to the president. For you to then go ahead and say, hey, how about you release the same level of transparency that every president in history has done up to now? It doesn't seem wild-eyed to me, and it doesn't seem like it lost voters.
Yeah, I mean, that is promises made, promises kept, right?